Good evening, everyone. I am Neeraj Bunkar, a final year PhD scholar at Nottingham Trent University and the organizer of this festival. I am really excited to welcome you all for the fourth session of the Dalit and Adivasi Film Festival DAFF 2025. This year, we have specially curated lineup of 12 films by Dalit and Adivasi filmmakers. 8 of these films were already screened in our last film sessions. Each screening is followed by interactive sessions and discussion with the filmmakers. And we also dedicating this DAFF 2025 to PK Rosie, the first actress of Malayalam cinema and a true pioneer of this industry. And for today's session, we will be screening one full-length documentary film, a Red Brick Battleground. It's a 135 minutes documentary film in Hindi by Ajay Pateer and Soumik Hazra. It documents the 2024 JNU Students Union election, students' movements post 2016, and state-backed violence. Blending interviews, electoral coverage, and found footage, it captures JNU's resilience and broader political realities. So, enjoy the screening. Welcome back, everyone. I hope you all have enjoyed the documentary, and apologies for the inconvenience caused on our part. Due to some technical issues, we were unable to screen the first half of the film with the subtitles. And also, if you have any questions and or any comments, please feel free to drop them in the comment section so that we can bring up them in the discussion. And so, before we begin, let me introduce to our filmmaker and discussion participants for today's session. We have two filmmakers, Ajay Patil. He is a PhD candidate in cinema studies at the School of Arts and Aesthetics at the Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. As a researcher, his current focus lies in cyberactivism and the anti-caste movement. As a filmmaker, he is working in the documentary form. And our second filmmaker is Soumik Hazra, who is currently pursuing his PhD titled In Search of the Decentred Other, Post-Millennium Hindi crime cinema and its expanded terrains at the Cinema Studies Department, School of Arts and Aesthetics, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, India. He identifies as a cinephile with an avid interest in new media studies, film philosophy, genre studies, popular culture, and documentary cinema. His work has been published in the journal Widescreen. And then we have two co-hosts of this discussion. One is Rupal Bansal. She is an PhD candidate in English literature at Nottingham Trent University, UK. Her research interest lies at the intersection of night studies, partisan studies, and violence, trauma, and memory studies. Focusing on the phenomenological experiences of the night, her dissertation examines how acts of violence, migration, and remembering are structured within the chronotype of the night in narratives about the partition of India in 1947. And our second co-host, Purnachan Naik, he is a researcher specializing in Dalit literature. He completed his PhD at NTU, Nottingham Trent University, UK, and is author of the forthcoming Routledge book, Reading the Rejected, Dirt in Dalit Literature. His research explores caste, marginality, and literary expression of resistance. Naik has contributed extensively to journal and edited volumes examining various aspects of Dalit narratives across literature and cinema. His works, published in Economic and Political Weekly, include Baby Kamble to Bama, Dalit Women Write Differently, Baluta and Jutan Amid Humiliation, Sparks of Life Amid the Dead Roads of Dalit Audacity, and a new nod to the polyphony. His book chapter Screening Caste, Untouchable Body, Labor and Remuneration in Lagan appears in the Routledge Companion to Caste and Cinema in India 2022. He has been published the luminous voice of an enslaved character in Outlook 2024, contemporary sets of Kerala, and many idioms of caste and untouchability in the book review. Additionally, his book chapter Studying Caste Up, Yasika Dutt's Coming Out as Dalit, is part of Subalternities in India and Latin America 2021. His scholarship critically engages with the caste, humiliation, and assertion in Dalit narratives, offering nuanced insights into their literary and cinematic representation. So let's begin the discussion. I will just start this discussion by asking very basic question to both the filmmaker about, as an indie filmmakers, you are like both the very independent filmmaker. You shot the entire film with zero budget and no prior filmmaking experiences. So my question is like, how did you manage the entire process of shooting and editing, especially as we were already discussing about the 181 hours of that footage and condensing into a 2 hour and 35-minute documentary. So what were the biggest challenge and how did you overcome them? Thank you. Any of you can go first. Soumik and Ajay. Ajay and Soumik, anybody can go first. So yeah.
Shamik, would you like to answer that, please?
Yes. So yeah, like you said, we didn't have experience about like filmmaking as such, and also this kind of footage. So this was something new for us, and we tried to like make the best of it, and we kind of watched the things. And we had like when we were shooting, since we were like only two of us were mainly shooting and recording sound and all. So we had some, like when we were taking the shots, so we had some sequences in mind, what we will take in the film for sure, and the sequences came after that, like when we watched the footages. So yeah, that took like some 2 to 3 months, and so it was a new experience, but it was something that was a very like unique experience. So yeah, that is that. Yeah. So we think we can like take this experience, and then like in our further projects we can like use this experience. Yeah.
Also, it was not exactly our first experience. We used to make some protest videos back in 2018.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we had some experience of running around the campus with camera, and we knew what it takes to make a little video, but we did not know what it takes to make a full-fledged documentary. We thought of the form which we were getting in those videos, and a throwback to those videos. We were watching them in, I think, 2024, and that's like in January or something, and we were like, yeah, that was good time. A streak of nostalgia just hit us, and then we were like, yeah, let's try it again with a maybe bigger scale. And it was really difficult actually, because we did not have any equipment to begin with. But then friends came along, and somebody gave us an iPhone, someone else gave us a camera, and just like that, things just kept happening, and we kept on shooting for a month, hardly ever slept during that time, and we had a lot of archive from 2018, 19, and throughout the time in JNU that we have been. But most of it was shot in, I think, March of 2024. That's, I think, some 80-90% of it is shot in that time, the elections. And there were so many people who helped us with the footages that they were shooting during the elections, before the elections. There were some archivists who had some personal archives, professional archives, and they were like happy to help us. So that's how we collected the footage. And also, it was like we did not have much of a time to think about the narrative as such. Like, how are we going to compile the film? How are we going to come up with the narrative? So it was like, as we were shooting, we were coming up with ideas about the narrative. Okay, so this is happening, so maybe we should take that element more, maybe we should take this element more, we should focus on this that. And even then, before coming to the editing table, we had no idea about the narrative proper. So that's why editing also took a lot of time. Watching this, like, more than 100 hours of footage is huge deal. So I think that answers your question, at least partially.
Yeah, indeed. And actually, we are also glad that we could, that showcase this film on our platform. And this is the first time that everybody is watching your film. So we are glad. And I would like to invite my co-host Purna if he has any question, follow-up question. Yeah.
Sure. First of all, many congratulations to Soumik and Ajay for the wonderful film.
Thank you.
Particularly like the way you,
Thank
you
you.
bring a particular kind of background music. That is something kind of I noticed. It was very difficult to miss the background music, the shift in the tonality of music, and so on. So that is just something that kind of off the top of my head. So, but overall, the film is a wonderful product. So, many congratulations to both of you. Ajay, you did mention about your lack of access to technology and so on. I was wondering because the film also moves. It's about JNU, but also kind of moves to HCU, moves to Jamia, moves to
Yes.
many other forms of protests that happened in
Mm.
Delhi as a city, and there are many clips that goes back to many, let's say, important critical events that happened in JNU on campus. But was there a particular reason as to why you kind of focused on 2024, the latest election, and not, the previous elections and so on?
Yes, there was a particular reason, and that was one because this election was happening after such a long time, and this I thought of a historical opportunity to do this kind of shooting, and also because we did not do it in the past. What we can do is in the present only, right? So, and the past was 4 years ago. Then we were different people. Now we are different people. Okay. So once we are here and we are doing it, I think the reason now it becomes like it just justifies itself more and more. Like when I started shooting, I noticed all the candidates all these parties are giving. They're all SC/ST people this time. I'm like, okay,
Oh, okay.
then it's like even like justifies that exercise even more. Okay, this is going to be documented as a not only as a JNU kind of project, but also as a SC/ST community project.
Yeah, that does make
Also,
sense. I was wondering if Somyok has anything to say to that.
yes. So also, like you said, we use footages of the violence which comes in the later part of the film. So that is also something that happened in between 2019 and 24 when there was no election, like student election in between, and a lot of things have happened in the country. So we wanted to address that also in a way with the footages. So yeah, so that was another reason we wanted to incorporate the violence footages, because that is something that gets like forgotten in the election and all that. So that was another reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rupal, if you can go. Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Neeraj. Yeah, again, Ajay and Soumik, congratulations. It was really impactful for me to watch
Thank you.
the documentary. I had a follow-up question, like Puna asked, why did you make it? I want to ask if you being JNU students and having gone through, did it impact the way you were making the documentary or the way you were conducting interviews? I wanted to know if people's interaction with you kind of was impacted by you being JNU students, and how does the politics of the documenter being a student who resides in JNU or who's part of JNU, how does that affect the idea of documentary making for you guys?
And I
Absolutely.
just want to add to Rupal's question that being an insider from like JNU, was it, that challenging or was it helpful for you to shoot? Because insider perspective is also very much important in that entire film. We could feel it, we could sense as well. So was it helpful or was it challenging? Because everybody knows you that you are with camera and everybody say that what you are doing. And so yeah, that is the also another additional question to Rupal.
No, we were making films, and it was a filmmaking exercise, not a voyeuristic exercise, and we were not doing any kind of espionage kind of work. And I think the entire JNU community was very supportive of us. And as you may have heard of this saying, if you know the terrain, half of the battle is won already. So being here for like last 8 years or so, we have known not only the people here, but also the geography here. Even the animals know us. So we are like ghosts here now, such a long time in JNU. So it was really helpful. And also since we, as all of the party members, different party members, they knew us personally, whether it is left or right or Babsa or even other parties, say Samajwadi, Congress, everybody knew us personally, and they were extremely supportive of us in the making of the film. Every individual, every organization, and that helped us a lot. And I think if we had not been students of JNU, this project could not have been made, not in this shape or not even like remotely close to this shape. You see the insider perspective coming into the film. Like we are not exploring the landscape too much. We're not like exoticizing the nilgais and the flora and fauna around the campus, or how beautiful it is, or like focusing too much on just the debates or the sensational things, just like how media would do. What we were trying to do is undo what media has done to JNU through this film. How they have portrayed it as some kind of place which is horrible for national security. But it's not that way. It's just a very vibrant campus, and every student affirms to that.
Yes, hello?
Yeah, so
Yes, I would just like to add about the the organization members, like just what just Ajay said. Like they were very supportive, even when they were also exhausted with all the campaigning and all that, but still they give us time. And the regarding the interaction part, I think that helped. Like Ajay said, like that helped obviously because we were inside it, so the interactions were more free and not for too pointed, too much pointed. And the interviews also that we shot, that was like that we see in the film are like just like 1% or 2% of the whole interview. So it was like a whole like interactions were like detailed, and so that kind of eased them into the conversation, I think. So that kind of helped. And obviously the insider perspective really helped. So that is one thing. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and it showed as well. I mean, it showed that the people were comfortable, and there was, like Ajay said, there was this undoing of what media has been done, because I could find the constant strain of everyone just admiring JNU as an institution and standing with it. So it was very visible and was very powerful as well in the documentary.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. That was the intention actually, like to like regardless of the party, like to make to take JNU spirit, like talk about JNU as an institution. So that was one of the intention. I'm glad like that is conveyed to the film. So yeah.
yeah. And I think this brings me to another question related to this discussion, that as we see that the cinema of resistance serves as a both a political tool for the free expression and also a counter to propaganda as well. So my question is like, should filmmakers engaging with the political themes take a clear ideological stance, or can they remain neutral? In your film, we could sense that you both the filmmaker were like more of a that taking the neutral stance rather than taking any side of political ideology or the. So can a film basically truly speak as a political text if a creator has no defined position or the ideology as such through their film? Yeah.
That I think up to you to answer, since you have watched the film and all the audience have seen the film. That is up to them to answer how the film resonates with them. It is not that we do not have a politics as such, and we have a politics, and that reflects in the film. If you, try to see that. And yes, still, what we are trying to say is we are not supporting or opposing any of the student organizations here. And we know all the student organizations here have been part of JNU and part of this vibrant community and this culture here, and we wholeheartedly support all the organizations in that sense, and they have been supportive to us also. And our politics is to first, as we have discussed previously, undo the damage that has been done to JNU's image, and how JNU has been perceived as such and such in past. Okay, and we are categorically against that. We are against violence that has been inflicted on students, okay, by different kind of agents. And we are also thinking of and trying to look for how our memory about Najib and Rohit and all the other people who were, I would say, affected or say victim of the circumstances of this kind of politics, So this film also tries to evoke some kind of thought. It urges you to seek out, think about it, do not forget it, because these are the memories that we will carry with us, and these are the memories that are with us since we have been here. So, and in that sense, it's not like I don't think we are like, yes, we are neutral in one way, but it's not like we do not have a politics.
Yeah, thank you, Ajay. Soumik, you would like to add something?
Yes, just to add, like what Ajay said, it's the same. Like we have our politics, but that is like within the film. Like that is the point. Like yeah, and it's not neutral, but like the point is like also wanted to emphasize on the multiple perspectives also, and the things that impacted us in our like 8 years or so, or 9 years of stay there. So that was all the intention of the film. Like yeah, so yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Purna.
Yeah, I mean, following up on Soumik's reflection on multiplicity of perspectives, and Ajay's idea of the role of memory and so on. I mean, the documentary kind of gives us a sense that it is, despite all the issues, all the problems, it is still a very vibrant, politically happening space. And when I visited there, when I was there the last time, there was not the impression that I got. And it's a lot of interview that you have done, and I'm sure there are clips that of people who are not quote unquote associated with any political parties and so on, because most of the interviewees that you have are either one way or the other. Either they are member of a political organization or sympathizer of a particular political organization. So did you also happen to speak to, let's say, quote unquote common students, and and the fact that depoliticization has happened? Actually, it's not just in JNU but across many other public universities. In a campus like SU, that is also the case. So you know the question of depoliticization and so on, how do you look at it? I mean, has it happened? Because that's not the impression that the documentary gives the audiences.
For us to show a depoliticization, first we have to show politicization, right? And without that, it will be just like another institute, say IIT or any place. So I don't think there has been another documentary which shows this kind of politicization of student space. So our focus was more on showing the politics. Depoliticization, it occurred in the film, and which is the harsh truth. Actually, it has happened because there was no election for the last 4 years, and also because there has been a shift in demography of JNU because of some courses were removed and other courses were brought in. So because of that, yes, there is a depoliticization happening, and that depoliticization was peaking during COVID, maybe in those years you actually visited JNU. Now it's slowly gaining that kind of political momentum, I would say. But yeah, for you, it would be just a nostalgia. Okay, yes, the politics used to be, now it's no more. So since you have been so much so active in the JNU politics, I would ask you a question. Do you think the film actually gave you any dose of nostalgia when you were watching it?
Of course, but it's like it's again that the nostalgia is very enticing. In a way, it can be very what's the word? It can be. I'm struggling with the word, but yeah, it can be enchanting. Probably that's the word, and that's what I think living in nostalgia also has its issues. I feel. But coming back to my question, I do remember Bobsa candidate speaking about depoliticization. So I don't know whether it was a question that you asked them, and then they spoke about depoliticization of the campus. I didn't hear, if I remember it correctly, I didn't hear anyone else speaking of the depoliticization. So yeah, I thought it was something that I would ask. But yeah, nostalgia. I do have a lot of nostalgia, but I kind of try to not fall back into the trap of cycle of nostalgia, because we have to look forward, and then
Right.
like I feel that it's always regressive to kind of hark back on a golden past and kind of feel that whatever happened was the golden past, and the future cannot be better, and so on. I think that's a very regressive idea, I feel.
Right. Yes, depoliticization was actually an idea of Priyanshi, not something we asked. We just asked her about campus experience, and she says there is a depoliticization. Soumik, please.
Yes, regarding that only, like the depoliticization bit, like, so since we have also we also experienced it when we were there during the COVID and all, like this whole, like Ajay said, the change of demographic and all. So when this election was happening, also the political situation, whatever, like the overall, the larger political situation of the country and something. So when this whole political mobilization was happening with respect to the election, so that was something that kind of like that kind of made us like make this film. So we wanted to like show the political environment in a way. It is, I will not call it nostalgia, but a sense of hope that we were trying to find. And so it largely involved like the political, like so-called like political parties and organization and sympathizers. So yeah, so that was one thing. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Ajay and Soumik. I think we have few questions from audience, but yeah, Rupal, you can go first, then I will just take questions from audience.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about what you talked about, depoliticization and how it's built in the narrative, because I could see that it starts with talking about Rohit Pemila, and then it moves on to the 2019, 2018 protests, riots, and then there's kind of a shift to the 2014 elections, which marks the kind of depoliticized a little bit comparatively depoliticized environment where I specifically loved the music that was put, because when the election was going on, there was a kind of the music, the trumpets, it felt more like a festival, and with the pannings of food being cooked and the background music, and how that narrative then at the end shifts to again thinking of what happened at Shaheen Bagh and the 2019 again JMI, and then again the narrative takes back to us with an interview about Rohit. So I wanted to ask you about this narrative that you wanted to build, and how for you, like for me, it represented the idea of politicization, depoliticization, and the kind of a hope for more politicization. But what led you to make this narrative into a circular, a spiral, I would say, not a circular way?
Soumik, please.
You can go.
Okay.
You can start.
So we did not have any script to begin with about this film. So what we wanted to show, our principal subject was these elections, right? But then, as we are developing a narrative, if we are only showing the election here and now, we are missing out on a lot about JNU, which we did not want to do. And because we also had some archival footage from which we were able to show the peak of JNU's politicization. So like, okay, why not? Let's show how JNU was, but as flashbacks. Now, when we are dealing with flashbacks, flashbacks as a filmmaking device is a very particular one. Like, if you are going to place it before or after some footage, it changes the meaning of that footage. And by that, if we are putting it anywhere in the elections, we are in a way implying some meaning to that elections event, as it might not be, or as the actors of the event might not have intended. So, and also to remind people of how the previous elections was and how so there was this flashback scene which was placed in the beginning, and also to captivate the audience, and so it made sense to put it there. And about the rest of the things, if and this was a very I think a bodily experience that we get from this kind of footages. This is very spine chilling kind of footages in the end we have, and there is no way you can show these kind of things in the beginning or in the middle or anywhere other than climax. It's very like climactic thing in itself, and it actually marked a particular climax of the politicization. Like, it was a crescendo during this Delhi riot and during this Shine Bagh protest and all. It was a kind of a crescendo, and that it reached a particular crescendo, and then there was COVID. So it's like we are reminded, even like before the election also, we were reminded of these things, and we were living in that kind of euphoria. Okay, something happened, but what happened, we don't know. Like, the memory is jumbled up all because of COVID. And then this election happened, and this is happening at a different kind of a surreal landscape, which makes us forget all that. But at the same time, it's reminding us of all that, because all those things are actually issues in the elections, and that is why we are exploring these issues, because the film is primarily about elections, and elections are reminding us of all those things. But when you are running around with campaigning and all that, you suddenly forget all that, because you are exhausted in the present, in the here and now. You're exhausted, so you forget about that. And this might not come into your head if you do not hear somebody saying this from the stage. Okay, what your party did when this person was going through this and that. And so in the end, when elections were done and dusted, and we were still like, but what about those things that matter? So it's like elections come and go, but these kind of things, they stay. Like, we have seen so many elections, but this kind of politicization and what the campus had been through during, I think, the late 2010s, that was something remarkable. And it's different now, and as Purna says, it's not good to stay in a nostalgia, but that was different. Yeah.
Also regarding the spiral structure, like that was something that we all thought about a lot, like how to end it. So we had like other perspectives also, like how to end it, and then and to end it on a hopeful note, like you mentioned. So that is something which we took, and like that is something we also wanted to convey to the film. So that is the reason we took that. Like, we started from Rohit and we ended at Rohit. So that was the spiral we wanted to make. So yeah, so that is something. And other like the way we did it, the answer to that, I don't know what, like that was like discussion and just like that just happened. So yeah, something like that. Like yeah.
Some things just fell into place.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I think we have lot many things to ask, but because of the time constraint, I think we'll just jump to the audience question, and then if you can quickly respond to the question, it would be good. So one question is from Nicole. She's asking that were you ever tempted to use voice over narration?
No.
Soumik, yeah.
No, that was not like that was the first thing we thought like we will not do. So yeah, that was the only thing we said we will not do. Like, yeah.
So what is the particular reason behind it?
Because like you said, the multiple perspectives and like we wanted the image and the people to talk and the place to talk. We don't want us to talk.
There is a spirit of JNU that speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
it makes sense, I think, yeah. And then another question is from Judith. She's saying that thank you for the film. Congratulations. I'm curious to know if you are planning to do another cut for a wider distribution, like for the other festivals and all. Yeah.
Yes, we would have. We are actually trying to do that. Yes, and if I think if you are if you want to collaborate with us, yeah, we can talk about it also.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we would very much like to want to like show it to people. Like yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also like follow up to the Puna's question that he has earlier asked, and Judith is asking again that uh, about the soundtrack particularly that what was the idea behind using the particular soundtrack and how you come.
So, there are many soundtracks. So, first soundtrack was to just set up the mood, okay, in a very, I would say, student activism kind of mode, and so that was some kind of a revolutionary hip hop kind of beat. So we just used that, and we were not very particular about that in those initial stages. The film was just like coming through slowly. It was not getting its shape, but we could not find any song that could replace that one. We tried a lot. We could not find any other music, and also this is not final music. Okay, this is music we are just picking up from YouTube and all. So this is popular music. We are just picking it up. Okay, we do not have our own music. This is like copyrighted. We cannot distribute it as such. We have to get original music. So this we call a reference or library music. Okay, so that was the first music, and the second one was there is this I think sax or trumpet artist from France, or not France, a French colony, I think. So they Ibrahim Malouf, I think. Yeah. So we were looking at all the Marxist songs, some Soviet kind of anthems and all, but nothing worked out. So finally, this is what, if you see our old videos, we used to make videos, and this was our training, say practice. We used to we used to try a lot of soundtracks with images and see what works. The movement of the image and the cuts in the editing, how they go with the flow of the sound, and some songs kick in, some don't. So this was a way of doing things. So we were trying different songs, and this Ibrahim Malouf Au Revoir, it's a very popular song. It just kicked in with Dhananjay's voice and the way the things he's saying and all those protest visuals, and like, okay, very nice, let's go with this. And then the next one for Bapsa, we did not have to do anything about the sound. All of them were musicians making JBM sound just like that, and we were just grooving in the crowd, and it was so crowded, it was very hard to even stand there. So I was just like holding the camera over my head and just with one hand doing everything. So it might be out of focus also. Sometimes I was just focusing, not looking at the image also, making it like that. I could not see the image. I was just like doing it with some kind of approximation. Okay, the focus ring should be this far from the lens, like that. And then there is next soundtrack is ABVP. So that we found a version of Mera Mulk Mera Desh, I think. So we were looking at some kind of anthems and some very, very nationalistic song, because that is their ideology about nationalism, and that should reflect. And we were also thinking about tracks like Jai Shri Ram and all that, but the new genre called H-pop. But I think this anthem actually was placed pretty well. It worked. So it's just like how something could work. And the last one is, I think, a song from Junoon. It's an album by Rajasthan Express. You might have heard it, right? So just like that, things just kept falling in place. Yeah.
If I can ask the last, probably my last question, Neeraj.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one more question from the audience, and then maybe
Okay,
we.
let the audience question be
No,
asked.
no, you will go first. Then I will just.
Ajay said, things fell into place. Sometimes collaborative work can also be challenging. So was there a moment when you fell out of the place? Or was there a moment when Ajay and Soumik did disagree on something, and then how did you resolve whatever disagreement you had?
Yeah, we disagree a lot. And we have a way of resolving our disagreements. We only do things that both of us agree. If any one of us has a disagreement, we drop that thing. We do not try to push it. Just the other person's instincts.
And also we had like experience, like you said, like, so we had previous experience of collaborating, so we know like how to, like, we have a sync, like, so that was difficult for this film to like find the sync again after like 3-4 years. So yeah, when we got it, like after that it was like, yeah. So disagreement is a part of the collaboration, obviously.
Of course.
Definitely.
Also, you have to think about the film, not what you think, right? So I might be inclined to do something, and I might be so excited to do something, but then Soumik might come up and say, I don't think that works. I'm like, okay, if you don't think it works, then maybe we should look at something else, and I have to hold my horses. So it works like that.
Yeah, at the end it worked for us and for the audience.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, we'll just end up this discussion by asking one more question from the audience, which is from Bhupender. He has a question that while you try to focus on the mobilization of by the ABVP along with the other organizations, towards the end of the film, I was just wondering whether it is the politics of social justice or the hegemony that universities are the sides are of. Yeah, Ajay and Soumik.
I think university is a kind of a place where you can at least exercise all kinds of politics in the spectrum of political things as we know. So you can at least exercise many kinds of politics here. If you can find people who believe in your politics, they are going to work with you, and as a team, as an organization, you can form an organization and you can do. I know in JNU there are so many different kinds of organizations, so many different ideologies prosper. So it's not, I don't think it's any one of the, neither is it the social justice or it is the hegemony. Even I know one person from UDSF used to say we don't believe in social justice, the idea of social justice, because social justice depends upon the person in power. We believe in social transformation. So there are like, what I'm trying to say, there are many like vibrant different kinds of ideologies here. Some might find more support than others. That is there, but at least different kind of ideologies exist here. Yes.
Yeah, just to reiterate what he said, like, yeah, so like the diversity, like that is the main focus, like that is what we wanted to convey through the film. So yeah, so yes.
Okay, well then, if anybody has final comments or any concluding remark, then they can go. Otherwise, we'll just end up this discussion. Yeah, Ajay and Soumik, if you have anything to add, final comments for this. Yeah, Rupal, you have something to say. Yeah.
No, I just had a comment when we were talking about sound, like the overlapping of protests versus individual interviews. They were really impactful for me. So, like, I just want to appreciate you on this because it kind of provided a good building crescendo for me when there were individual interviews and then there were snapshots of protests. So very well done on the soundscape of the documentary. It worked very well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And,
Yeah. Puna, anything to add for the last comment or some?
Okay. Once again, many congratulations to both of you. It's, as you said, it's like many hours of gathering the footage, working, and then we as audiences, we just get to see the final product, but we don't see the labor behind it. So it's a lot of labor that you have invested into it. So many congratulations. You should be congratulate yourself for coming out with this, finally coming out with this very artistic product. So congratulations to both of you.
Thank you so much.
you also, if you have any kind of critical comments, if you think if any errors in editing or any revisions you would like us to make, any kind of suggestions, please let us know.
Yeah,
Sure,
please.
sure.
Yeah, we can
Touch.
always reach out to
Yes,
the-
yes. It's
yeah.
still a progress, so yeah.
Okay, then thank you Ajay, Soumik, and Purna and Rupal for this engaging and insightful discussion. And also special thanks
Thank
to
you so much for the
Notam.
opportunity.
Yeah, Soumik, yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity. So, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And also for the audience also, I would like to thank you, the audience, for such an engaging questions as well and watching the film and the discussion. And so see you all at our next and final screening, which is on 8th April. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having
Thank
me.
you.